Hello, guys. Welcome to the new year 2025. So, happy new year to all. And let's have a new resolution to this year. Like, we need to focus more on the automation, AI tools when we work in the any kind of department in the IT industry. It can be a engineering department, support, or any other managerial role, or whatever you are working in the any, not only the IT industry, but for everywhere. Okay, so for DevOps, we can more focus on the this year like automation, right? You can use any tools like ChatGPT or something. It's okay, and then try to increase the productivity to use this tool. Okay, so today we will discuss more about the AI tools or use cases in the DevOps, which things we can use as to reduce our manual efforts or unnecessary other hectic works. Okay, how we can optimize that. So you can focus more on this year like automation, then your Kubernetes, Terraform, Docker container, CI/CD pipeline, security, troubleshooting parts. Okay, and major one is like your communication skill, and because most of the time we need to communicate with the cross teams. Okay, your developers, QA, tester, client side teams, or any other managers, other departments like that for the project related to projects, onboarding, or any requirement gathering like that. Okay, so let's start with this session today. So we are trying to understand the DevOps use cases for this use AI tools, basically which tools we can use. So normally in the day-to-day activities, I prefer to use ChatGPT, but it's totally depend on you which tool you can use. Okay, you can prefer anyone as you like. Okay, as you if you search AI tools in the market, you will get list of tools name there. Okay, you can choose anyone. So I regularly I use ChatGPT, so I know the how we can write the prompt properly to the ChatGPT. So how the ChatGPT will react or generate the response based on that proper prompting. Okay, so let's start with this. So be it till end of this video, so you will get lots of insights from this video. Okay, and if you are a newcomer to this YouTube channel, so definitely just like, share, and subscribe to the channel, so you will get more and more automation related videos in 2025 on the Kubernetes, Terraform, Docker container, and CI/CD pipelines. Okay, yeah. So there are lots of things in the DevOps use cases, but mostly capture only the few things here which I normally follow in the working day-to-day activities. Okay, those are the things I want to discuss today. So you can definitely add your own thought process or your own any other task. You can use that for your purpose. Okay, based on your requirements. So for today, I will show you some chat GPT prompts how you can use for the day-to-day activities, like obviously writing emails, right? We need to write the emails to the client or your teams or your manager or something like that. Okay, it can be your internal emails or it can be client external emails, basically. So to debug the live issues, troubleshooting, right? That also comes when we work as a real time. It might be your cloud engineer, support engineer, or your DevOps or SRE, lots of things, right? So next, client communication, as I said earlier, writing the emails or chatting or the Slack channel, Microsoft Teams, or any other Skypes media, right? Then documentation, sometimes what we thinks like basically, so when we do any infrastructure related tasks, so we need to make the documentation as well. Okay, so let's say you are not from the English environment background, or let's say most of candidates from their home own native language, like, right? So I am from the Maharashtra, so my native language is Marathi. So sometimes I'm not able to judge or any any proper professional keywords, so I can use that efficiently in the communication or preparing for the documentation, right? Okay, so sometimes definitely we need to learn, but you can use AI tools to generate the proper professional keywords for you, your documentation, so you can avoid the grammatical mistakes, reduce the unnecessary proper. So basically, that communication will happen the clarity when we do the documentation or writing the documentation. Okay, Jira ticket description you can also use for this. Okay, you can, let's say you are creating any EKS cluster or any deployment or production release ticket or whatever. So if you put chat GPT prompt properly to the chat gpt or any AI tools. So that will give you the proper description to do whatever the tickets, whatever you follow in the pattern in the Jira ticket, that you can put proper in the prompting, and you will get lots of the proper professional language description there. Okay, so you can use that in your Jira ticket, so that's your Jira ticket will looks like professional. Okay. Just make a note of here, when you communicate with your chat gpt or any AI tool, so don't put any PIR data or any confidential data, which is the password or any secrets like that. Okay, that is a recommend recommendation. You should not put any confidential or sensitive information on the chat gpt or any AI tool. Okay, so don't do that mistake. You can do for normal keyword typing or whatever the writing you want. Okay, but don't put any sensitive information on the any AI platform. Okay, and other thing like is any kind of RC or similar reports generations. So if you want to generate any root cause analysis report, RCA, or any other reports for any client purpose or internal audit purpose or something, so you can use AI tools for that as well. Okay, so now I have created some prompting here basically, where I will show you that how, let's say use case is like writing any email for external client or your internal one like manager or something. So how you can write any prompting for that. Okay, so scenario will basically I have take one scenario like let's say communicating deployment updates, so you are going to production release, so how you can write the email for that. Incident resolution, you have resolve any issues or something. Upcoming maintenance windows, normal task updates. So for these scenarios you can use, or it can be a more scenarios apart from this. Okay, so you can use that for that as well. Now benefit is basically, obviously, as we know, we will save lots of times, while clarity and the professionalism, and we will avoid any grammatical mistakes, and we will use more, professional language there in terms of the grammatical and the words. Build trust and avoid miscommunication. So sometimes we want to convey some message, but due to our communication problem or language skills or lack of the words or keywords, right? So we want to try some say something, but that actually what we have written the message, that might be convey the different message, right? So that those are the kind of situation we can avoid by doing this. Okay. So I have just mentioned some chat GPT prompt here, so don't worry, I will give this prompt in the comment box, you description box, so you can follow or you can add your own as well. Okay, so I just mentioned like act as a content writer expert, let's say, because I'm writing the email, right? So who will write the proper content for you? Content writer, right? Or any English person expert or something who knows better communication or wording, right? So let me show you this part. You can add more prompting on the chat gpt, don't worry. So let's say I just add this sample one, like act as a content writer expert, write professional and impressive message for deployment status, and add more related details. Okay, this is just a simple chat gpt prompt. So he will analyze my questions or prompting which I put, and he will give you the proper response. So don't blindly copy paste in your email or something, right? So wherever you feel like this should be modification required or changes needed, so based on that you can just do that. Okay, so you can see the subject line, deployment status updates, project name, feature name, whatever. Okay. Dear team stakeholders, and you can see this message completely, time zone, time details like that, production staging environment, deployment ID, start time, end time, environment, deployed by CI/CD pipeline status, build version. So these are the some just sample example generated, but you can add your own as well if you follow some certain strategy in your current project. Okay, you can add those pattern here as well, so he will generate better response by considering that's that pattern strategies. Okay, key updates in the release. Okay, bug fixes, security enhancement, post deployment validation, smoke testing, function testing, whatever the things we normally follow. Okay, if you follow the different strategy, you can add those, so those it will furnish the message for you properly. Okay, this is one of the for ChatGPT prompt. And let's say sometimes what we have done is like, let's say you don't want ChatGPT will write email for you, so you have write some customized message, okay, before sending. So how we can furnish those message professionally and the impressive language, so it will convey the proper with the professionalism, right? So for just sample message, I just write, this is like, hello team, I am going to deploy sorry, my production release, and below other details. Okay, git repo, release window time changes, what changes you are going to deploy, rollback, what is the rollback strategy, is there any impact, jira ticket. Okay, so this is just a sample format, you can add more on this if you have. And the message, the prompt is like, furnish my below message more impressive and diplomatic and professional. Okay, you can add like language. And see, if you want this message should be in the english, so you can add like, language, professional language, and make it in your own language, like any Hindi or any other language which you follow basically, not you, but in the project. Okay, French, German, something like that. Okay, so let me delete this and let me paste. Okay, and just enter. See, production release deployment announcement, DA team, he will consider all the details like whatever the we have put here, release windows, change plan, rollback, Jira ticket. Sometimes what will happen, we will not satisfy with the response, generated response. Okay, so what we can do is we can just regenerate it. Okay, he's asking for the license, so let me go with the another one. Okay, this one. So he will generate more response. If you still not satisfied, you can add like add, or you can regenerate once again. If you want to add any emojis, you can add like emojis, right? So he will add more emojis here. If you want to make more impressive, just ask him, make more impressive message. Okay, so he will again regenerate your response. So once you're satisfied with that, you can just simply copy paste, and wherever you feel like modification is required, you can just do that, like your release branches details or any time zone or whatever, right? Those changes you can just modify it. And as I said, do not put any sensitive or PI data in the chat GPT prompt or any chat AI tool prompt. Okay, so that's thing. Then also you can use for this live issues troubleshooting. Let's say you are facing any issue related to your Kubernetes pod deployment, or any pod is not coming up. So in that case, you can just fetch the logs of the pod. So whatever the error related to, might be environment variables or any information or something, any configurations, okay, or any YAML file mistakes. So from the those log you can just copy, okay, and you can just simply say here, act, for example, you are troubleshooting for the Kubernetes. Okay, you can just say like, act as a Kubernetes expert, Kubernetes expert, and having real time experience at, um, let's say 5 years. Please review my below pod logs and give me best possible solutions. Okay, and you can paste your pod logs here, right? So based on that, he will give you the, he will analyze your log. Basically he will analyze log and give the some possible troubleshootings, where is the missing or any mistakes whatever. So he, based on that, he will give the solution for you. Okay. So a number of times I tried with this for the CDK troubleshooting. We are using CDK instead of the Terraform in our project. So we, number of times I get the helps to writing the Terraform code, CDK codes basically. You can use for the same thing for Terraform as well. Or let's say you are not completely aware about the Terraform files, how to write it, how to write the YAML file for the Kubernetes services, ingress controller or whatever. Okay. So in that case, you can also ask like same thing, create YAML file for pod, right? So he will give you simple YAML file for the pod. If you want to add more context in this, okay, like consider pod name is demo, right? Or whatever the values you want to add, you can just do like this. Okay, and just send. So based on your prompt, he will consider and he will add the changes. Okay, you can see the pod name, a node port is added here, service port, right? So this kind of, you can add your multiple prompting here. You can module the properlize and you can use, and he will also give you the how you can deploy this YAML file. Okay. If you are not satisfied with the response, you can again, you can just regenerate it. Okay. So this way you can use the strategies for any live issues troubleshooting. Now one more example I can give you, like for Terraform, right? Act as a Terraform expert. Okay. And having, let's say, 7 years of experience, real time industry. Give me best module wise Terraform structure to create below resources. Okay. Now you can give the resource, which resource you want to create. Okay. Let's say, make sure, okay, remote state, yeah, we can add here. Make sure s, okay, consider s3 bucket as a remote backend for to store state file. Okay. Now you can add here like create I am a user as a role with s3 bucket access, right? Create EKS cluster with auto scaling, right? Then create what we required, CloudWatch alert for EKS cluster node, add minimum 2 nodes in EKS cluster. So whatever the requirement you have, you can put properly in this format. Okay. So for now, I'm just putting this. Okay. And you can see. So based on the prompting, he will give you the proper response over there. Okay. You can see for the remote state bucket. Okay. Remote S3 backend. Then your directory structure, because we have in the real time industry, we use module wise structure, right, for the Terraform. So for that, you can see the different folder structure here. I am now this is the Terraform code, how you can write. Okay. If you want to add more response, like set up the I am a role name or something like that for the any particular resource name, you can just add those as well. So he will generate the proper response for you. Okay. This is for the CloudWatch alerts. So everything you will get proper. So again, once again, I want to request you, don't blindly copy paste. Okay, so wherever the possible, the value parameter you should change, just do it based on your project requirement. Okay, so you can create for the documentation as well, Jira ticket description, right? Let's say I will show you this for the Jira ticket, right? I can make it as a act as a Jira content writer expert, create Jira ticket description for example, you can take any example like product, not prod, create YAML file for pods. Okay, let's see in summary, subject line you can put whatever the naming convention you follow in the Jira ticket, project name and then Jira ticket number, whatever you can add this headline. Okay, and description you can see acceptance criteria and the other details, pod configuration, node service configuration, YAML file structure, example. This you can put in this file or any comment in the Jira ticket, no worries. Priority, labels, assignee, whatever the things. Okay, if you want to regenerate this response, let do it, so it will generate more response on this. Okay, so this type of you can use in the DevOps when you do any on the day-to-day activities. Okay, so this will basically, at least I'm not saying like 100% help, but definitely it will reduce your lots of manual efforts. Okay, so earlier things, let's say before 5 years or something, we don't have that option, so we do word documentation or any Jira ticket, the manual keywords, whatever the grammatical mistakes we corrected somewhere or auto corrected something like that, that feature is available. But now we have this AI tool already available in the market, so why should we fear about that? So the AI will cut my job. Okay, so we can use as assistant here, as a DevOps AI tools. Okay, we can use as an assistant for your best friends and try to utilize it maximum, so your productivity will definitely increase by this. आपका मैनेजर खुश, क्लाइंट खुश, तो डेफिनेटली हो सकता है कि सैलरी भी खुश हो जाए अप्रेजल के टाइम पे, राइट? सो जस्ट ट्राई टू इम्प्रूव योर सेल्फ, डू मोर प्रोडक्टिविटी वर्क, बिकॉज क्या होता है ना, लेट्स से आई एम जस्ट यूजिंग हिंदी वर्ड हियर, कि व्हेन वी डू proper communication with your client, it might be a verbal, okay, or written communication. If you do or convey our message properly, so वहाँ पे बहुत मैटर करता है, वहाँ पे क्लाइंट का फीडबैक वगैरह जो आता है, दैट्स रियली मैटर फॉर अस इन द IT इंडस्ट्री व्हेन वी आर वर्किंग इन द क्लाइंट बेस्ड इन्वायरमेंट. ओके, अगर क्लाइंट ने अच्छा फीडबैक दे दिया तो डेफिनेटली मैनेजर आपका अगर हेल्पफुल है, सपोर्टिव है, सो डेफिनेटली ही विल हैप्पी फॉर यू एंड ही विल give your feedback to his manager like DM or DH, whatever the cycle structure in the organization. So कहीं ना कहीं आपको थोड़ा सा हेल्प कर जाएगा इन द ड्यूरेशन ऑफ द अप्रेजर और जो भी आपका प्रमोशन वगैरह रहेगा वहाँ पे. ओके, so I hope this video is helpful for you. Just let me know in the comment box. So if you feel any other thought process apart from this, okay, whatever the things I explained in this video, this is based on my experience. If you have any more thought process or any other experience, just let's do it in the comment box. You can just put your thought process, so it can help others as well. Okay, so yeah, let's meet in the next video more on the Kubernetes or something, as I said. Okay, thank you.